Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Renee. In today's podcast, I'm joined by Dr. Sunita Reddy from Dayton, Ohio. She's an obstetrician and a gynecologist, but I'm not going to be talking about her work as a physician since she wears another hat. And we'll be talking about her debut novel, her literary work, Before We Were Women. It's a very interesting and intriguing title, and I'm going to talk to her all about this book and the genesis behind this book. Thank you so much, Dr. Reddy, for joining me today. Now, you work with patients all the time, so it's interesting how you find time to write a book, and you navigate patients through their many psychological, physiological, social issues. So was that the genesis behind the book?
Thank you, Dr. Mara, for having me on this podcast. Yes, I am a physician, but all of us can wear many hats. And as my children grew up and I found free time, I finally decided to put my heart into a passion that I was waiting to put my heart into for many years. And I finally took the step to write the novel. My writing started out with in a very basic way. I don't claim to be an expert writer at this point. I have no formal writing experience. I've never taken a writing class. My mother tongue is not English. I came to America as an adult, but yet I've been an avid reader all my life. And when I read books, I've read good books. I've read books that I thought were not so good. And even when I read some good books, at the end of after finishing the book, I sometimes felt that I could have written a better novel. So, and again, my work as an OBGYN, as a physician, puts me right in the middle of working with women. And for women, I'm not only their obstetrician and gynecologist, but I'm often their family practitioner, I'm their counselor, and I'm their therapist. They share their most intimate times and stories of their lives with me. And I have the privilege now of sharing those stories that have moved me, not because they're sensational, but because of the strength of character that my patients have shown through example. So those are the stories I've chosen to tell in my book, Before We Were Women. And here I am.
Awesome. I mean, it's a great journey. You were there as not just your gynecologist, but also their counselor. And that probably was there somewhere in the back of your head, maybe let's write something and let's move it to the next level. And which you did, and you did so well. First of all, the title really gripped me. It's amazing. Before We Were Women. So what were they before that? I guess they were looking for finding their identity. You have these three women, Anita, Ashley, and Robin, from different backgrounds. There's a teenage pregnancy. There's somebody had been adopted. It's a book about resilience, empowerment. It's a book about sisterhood. And it's a book about finding your own self.
Yes.
Very, very succinctly put out with these three women characters, these protagonists. So share a little bit more about these three women, Anita, Ashley, and Robin, that they're in your book, because they resonate with all of us.
Yes. Well, Before We Were Women, even the not only the title, but even the cover page gives you the impression that this book is going to be about women and their stories. But to be honest with you, the theme of the book is universal because men, women, children, we're all in this world together. We create families, we create communities and societies where we live together. So our stories are intermingled. And the stories I tell are not just what the hardships women go through are. Men are intricately related in our lives. So the three protagonists have their own stories to tell. Well, of course, in life, we all are only a misfortune or a mistake away from from putting ourselves into trouble, or to use a stronger word, calamity. But the the storyline again tries to capture the strength of these women, which I believe that most of us inherently have, that we can often fall back on to fight these troubles, to find strength that sometimes comes spontaneously, inherently, but sometimes the strength comes through with the help of a mentor, a teacher, a parent, or a friend. So the three protagonists have different lives, but ultimately they come together to help each other, to find their voices, to reclaim their past. So that is, in a nutshell, the storyline and also some of the background behind it. Now, I did not answer what the title meant, but I could go on and explain if I have the time.
Right. So it's about three women, three secrets coming together. And when that bonding takes place, you feel empowered in the real world as well. And that bonding, leading, hand holding can help so many of us to find our own identity and follow our heart. Just be ourselves the way we want it to be. And that
Yes.
brings the womanhood out, the resilience, and the feeling of, I can do it. And it becomes a life changing moment. And from that time onwards, we start building on it and becoming stronger from inside. So I guess that book is bringing that message out.
Yes. Well, again, going back to the title, before we were women, what does it really mean? Somebody had flippantly asked me if if it meant that these women were men before, and now they've gone through a gender change and now they're women. Well, of course, I shrugged it off, but then I went on to explain that there are two different meanings to who a woman is. And in my book, when I say my book, in my opinion, there is the biological definition of a woman, who we all know what that is. But then there's also literary meaning. And in my world, the literary meaning of a woman is somebody who has found herself, who's found strength in herself, who has found her voice, who has become independent, who's happy, who has finally arrived where she wanted to be. So that is, to me, a woman. And the three protagonist story, it's a multi-generational story. The story spans 2 decades. My protagonists, my characters, go through their childhood, teenagers, and finally arrive into their adulthood and find themselves. Now, the story has a lot of poignancy, father-daughter relationships that are very sweet. I often have not highlighted the father-daughter connection, but there is a strong father-daughter connection that most of us in our lives have experienced.
Talking about before we were women, they were grappling with their issues, there was guilt, there was shame. And then they realized that they can find the inner core and move on and even help others and
Yes.
inspire others too.
Yes.
And that really, I think, is a very interesting point, because then these women help to inspire other women as well. I think that's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Now, you have been giving a lot of talks. I know you gave a talk at the OPE convention, American Association of Physicians of Indian Origin, but
Yes.
you've also given a lot of talks in libraries in Dayton, Ohio, in women forums, and bringing women together, talking about sisterhood, talking about this resilience and empowerment. And what has been the feedback so far?
Well, what I've noticed that There are a lot of men in the audience too. And that took me by surprise uh, initially, but now I am expecting men to be in the audience too. And more often, the parents of young women bring me their children and are elated to meet somebody who's not only a physician with a busy career, but I have found time to follow my heart and become a writer. Because most parents wish and want that their children have a stable, successful career. Parents don't like uncertainty. And the world of writing has a lot of uncertainty. Whether you were even able to publish a book is not guaranteed. Now, are you able to support yourself financially by writing is also not guaranteed. So for a parent, when a child wants to become a writer, it causes anxiety. But when they met a person like me who's shown them that, yes, we can all have our careers, our day jobs, but we could also find time, we can also make time to follow our heart. I think that thrilled the parents. And a lot of them brought their children and telling me that I was an inspiration to them, that now they can find a happy medium of following a college degree that can give them a stable um, livelihood, but yet follow their heart and follow other hobbies.
Absolutely. I mean, most parents would like their kids to go through a stereotypical careers. My dad did the same thing, but I'm a maverick, and I'm sure a lot of women are the same way. But to follow your heart needs a lot of guts and strength.
Yes.
And if you can do it at the same time, go with the academia world as well. And so you have two worlds going for you, just like you did. You have a fertile imagination, went to be a fiction writer, and you're a physician. So we can do both. It sometimes requires a lot of determination and grit, but if one wants to do it, they can.
Yes.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is within reach. It is within reach. One has to be disciplined. One has to be driven to get here. And we all know that we have to make sacrifices to finally be where we want to be.
Now, how long did it take you to write this book?
It took me 3.5 years from start to
Wow.
finish. Yes, it was a long journey, but it was a fun ride because I did not have any expectations about the project. I did not know where my journey would lead me. There were no guarantees that my book will be published. There were no guarantees that people will even read it. So I got very good advice from my husband when I started the process, because the amount of time it took me to write, it was a sacrifice on family time too. So my husband also had to be very patient with my journey. But he did.
Is he a physician as well?
No, he's not. No, he's not. But he did tell me that, hey, follow your heart, do this without an expectation. Because he was always not concerned, but he was trying to be practical in telling me there are hundreds of writers, thousands of books being published every day. And the number of readers in this country and in the world, to be honest with you, is steadily going down by the day. And he said, people's attention spans are shorter than ever before. And for somebody to pick a book and read through the whole book takes a lot of interest and discipline. And we may not have too many young kids like that anymore. And so that practical advice really helped me because I followed the journey without an expectation.
You followed your heart, your husband had your back.
Yes.
And family supported you, even though it took 3.5 years.
Yes. To be honest with you, every waking moment I was away from work, I was working on this book. I mean, provided there are family obligations and that next social commitment and this other next patient to see. We all have that. Yes, I have, put away time for even those things. But every other second I could really um, use the time to write, I did. I mean, on a weekend, I would sit 8 hours a day to write. And I mean, again, like I said, I'm not an expert writer. This was my debut novel. And like I said, I don't claim to be an expert of some linguistic expert. So sometimes it would take a whole day to write a paragraph. Well, it is available on Amazon in Kindle format. And I am working on an Audible, but it's not available yet.
What's next for you?
I hope and wish that there's more writing in my future. I sincerely do. Now, where this journey takes me, only time will tell. Uh, and that is what it is right now.
So you found your calling as a physician, and then you followed your passion as a literary writer. If you had to choose one, I know it's hard to say which one would you choose, but what would be the answer? Would you choose fiction writing or your work as a physician?
Well, I grew up in India, like I said, and having a professional career was very paramount for me and my parents. So I really do not recall a time where it finally came to me that I wanted to be a physician. As long as I remember, I always kind of knew I was going to be a physician. So I would be wrong in saying that it was my calling and it was my choice that I choose to be a physician. I hate to say that, but for a lot of us growing up in India, it's kind of we're pre-programmed by parents and by the society that yes, you're good in math, you're going to be an engineer, you have good memory, and you're good in science, you're going to be a physician. But children growing up in America, it's different. They have more choices, they have more exposure. They even test it out. I mean, some children, many children still um, don't follow that mold completely. Um, so, but eventually, I, what should I say? I accepted my role as a physician wholeheartedly. And it has been a learning process, meaning I grew into my role. And then I realized how important of a role I had. When I was much younger, it was all about science and treatment. But as I got older, then I learned the importance of empathy and caring and sacrifice and giving. And I wish I could say that I had all that before I started medical school, but it wasn't the case.
So now, when you retired, you want to just strictly concentrate on writing books, novels?
I hope I can. I really don't know. It is too soon to make a statement like that, but I hope
Go
I
where the
do.
life takes you. Just go with the flow.
Yes. It let me see where I go.
That's great. You followed your heart. You can go with the flow, with life's flow, and you don't know next turn in your life, where does it take you to?
Yes.
Well, thank you so very much, Dr. Reddy, physician, gynecologist, obstetrician, and created a new path for herself, writing this book, Before We Were Women. It's such a lovely title. I just love it. I mean, it just makes it, it's so thought-provoking.
Yes. I did interview on National Public Radio. When I wrote this book, I always questioned myself about my ability as a writer. How will I be, how will the quality of my writing, will it be accepted by the readers as high quality? Because you're always second guessing, because English is not my mother tongue, like I said earlier. But when I got the call from Vic McCunis of the Book Nook program for NPR, that he read my book and he loved it and he invited me for the interview, that was validation for me that yes, my book must be good. If it appealed to an interviewer, a book reviewer who interviews writers as for a living, then that I must have done an okay job. So that was a very important validation, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, that feel good feeling. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Reddy.
Thank you, Dr. Mehra, for giving me this opportunity to talk to you.
And I'm Dr. Renee Mehra. Stay healthy, stay positive.